happy for the players. There's a lot that goes into a college basketball season. This journey started for us in April when we got this team together, and we certainly earned our way throughout the course of this season, and very pleased with the seed. One of the highest, I think we got the highest seed in the Mountain West along with New Mexico. 15-0 and quad 3, quad 4 certainly helped, and some quality wins. So we're playing one of the probably the most storied basketball program in the history of college basketball, and one of the most historic venues in Rupp Arena. So pretty neat experience for our group, and excited. Coach Cronin's a guy that has given me advice throughout a lot of my career. He worked with Coach Huggins. I never worked with him, but he's been very good to me, and it's kind of strange. UCLA's one of my favorite teams outside of a couple others that I like to watch. So pretty surreal moment for me.
From what you know of them, just in watching them, obviously defensive-oriented team, trying to make life miserable for you.
They turn you over, Scotty. I've watched them probably play 8-9 times. Kind of strange seeing them in the Big Ten. I've watched them a lot in the Pac-12. I thought their Final Four run a couple years ago was incredible. So Mick does a great job. His teams are really, really physical. They're tough. The tenacity they play on both sides of the ball is very real. So ball security will be critical, and we're going to need to try to speed them up as well and force tempo. We need to get this game, in the high 70s, 80s is what we'll try to play it.
Did you call that spot? It looked like you were kind of telling Mason that this was.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Mick told his assistant this morning we would probably play Darren Semino, their assistant. I know him very well as well. We go way back with these guys. So he actually thought we would play. I thought there was a possibility, but I thought it'd be more like an SEC team. But hey, it's the Bruins.
Coach, what do you tell your players who have not been in the NCAA tournament? These are a little bit different style of play, physicality. Refs a little bit more lenient, more often than not with fouls and such. What do you tell your players about how to prepare for an NCAA tournament game?
There's going to be a winner and a loser. We got nothing to lose. Let it rip, man. If you're open, shoot it. Play as hard as you possibly can. Understand, you could lose the game. Don't be afraid to fail. I tell those guys that all the time. Talked to Joe Mazzulla this morning in great detail, asked for some advice leading up to this. So I thought that was really good information from him. And, we're a little beat up, so is everybody else. We need to get Carson Templin and, Ian back healthy. We got some sickness going around with just, the sniffles and certain things. That conference tournament beats you up a little bit. But our guys will have a pep in their step for sure for the NCAA tournament.
How is Carson after leaving the game?
Yeah, he'll practice tomorrow. Him and Ian, they're both going to practice. We'll have 3-day prep. We'll practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll practice here Tuesday and then take off in the afternoon to Lexington. So those guys will be ready.
What does it mean for you as a head coach? You've obviously been in the NCAA tournament as a coach, but as a head coach now, getting into the NCAA tournament, what does that mean for you?
Yeah, it's the expectation here at Utah State. We're trying to take that next step, to get to a Sweet 16 or a Final Four. So for me personally, it's been a long journey. I've been in the one bid leagues, for 7 years. There's a lot of great coaches that don't get this opportunity. Can't take things for granted. You got to be in the moment. You got to live in the moment. I haven't really slept in 3 or 4 days. I thought our conference tournament took a toll on us, having those night games with the preparation. So we all need to kind of get to the tape, start watching the Bruins. I know these guys inside and out. I watch mixed teams all the time. So it'll just be putting the plan in place over the next, 48 hours.
What's your thoughts on the seedings of the Mountain West teams? There's still debate about 3 to 5 4 get in. They're all
Yeah, you're going to debate. That's what makes this tournament a beautiful thing, right, Sean? It's the greatest tournament on earth. The next 3 weeks, players, coaches, fans, we're all going to go on this journey together. Utah State has been a consistent figure in this tournament, right? Last year, taking that step, beating TCU. It's just such a roller coaster, right? There's going to be big shots. There's going to be a ton of plays. But I thought Boise State deserved to get in. I thought New Mexico deserved a better seed. Colorado State obviously has a quad 3 and a quad 4 loss, but I would not want to play them. They're playing as good as anybody. Memphis, I just got done watching them. That's going to be a great game. You know, you talk about two different styles. You know, Coach Hardaway's done a great job at Memphis, and obviously Nico. So it's going to be neat to see, and we're rooting for all those teams, right? We're all in this together, the Mountain West. But once again, we get 4 teams. You know, this is a monster league. It should have been 5.
Does this show the emphasis of games in November and December when you avoid those, as you did, those Q3 and Q4 losses to make sure that you play clean in that stretch?
I mean, Scotty, it's, you know, every game is measured. I think our fans got to understand that as well. You know, there's frustration on a lot of levels the way we've played over the last 2 weeks, but the reality of it is we beat some really good opponents, or we would not be in the tournament. We would not be a 10 seed. You know, we got the highest seed in this conference along with New Mexico, and they won the regular season. So it's your full body of work. It's not just the conference. You know, beating St. Mary's, beating Iowa, beating North Texas, you know, winning at Viejas. You know, we've got some really good wins that carried us, and it's a testament, you know, to our staff as well. You know, we went out and played people. We did not sugarcoat this thing. You know, not a lot of people would go play at St. Mary's, play Iowa neutral. You know, it's going to get even better next year. We're going to play a better schedule, to be honest with you, Scotty. I think we got to continue to do that because, as you see, a lot of the SEC teams and those teams were seated ahead of us with way more losses. So we got to go play those people in the non-league.
UCLA, a pretty balanced team as far as all of their production. How tough of a challenge is it going to be to defend a team where production can come from anybody on any given night?
Yeah, I mean, they've played in, you know, arguably the top 3 league in America, right? I think SEC is the best this year, and then it's debatable after that. Is it the Big 12? Is it the Big 10? You know, UCLA is battle tested. They've got really, really physical guards. They got a physical front court. You know, Dexter Akano, you can ask him this week. His teammate transferred in from Oregon State, their starting center. Bilodeau, he's a good player. He can stretch it, you know, make threes. He can post. As you guys do your homework, you'll learn a lot about that kid. So, yeah, I mean, we're going to have to try to speed them up and get this game moving. That's how we want to play anyways.